Good afternoon, students. This is Mr. Schwab from the principal's class. I really thought it was necessary to get back on here and clarify some of the things that I mentioned in my other second demo that talked about the pendulum project. It was kind of hard to see what I was showing, and I wanted to show it again so it's a little bit more clear. The first thing that you might want to do again is try to get into that animator survival kit. Richard Williams does a fantastic job right in there around pages 46 to 57 talking about the pendulum project, timing, spacing, timing charts, spacing charts. Also talks about, a little bit in there, talks about the bouncing ball and the head turner, which are things that are coming up. I know this week we're doing the straight pendulum, the perspective pendulum, and the head turn. So they're all really important projects. They're really good projects to get across the fundamentals of timing that are going to really actually come up with every project that we do for the rest of the quarter. It's really important to get the sense of timing and understanding of key drawings and in-betweening down on these three projects. And if you can do that well, you're going to have a really good time with the rest of the projects. The other important thing is to go back over those character sketches that you were doing this past week and really try to solidify your understanding of those characters by being able to turn them in perspective, understand the form, being able to map out the whole body, and make sure that you just really understand the drawing so that you have fun doing this animation. The one thing that comes up in the criteria this week is it talks about for the pendulum doing, I think, 24 drawings if you look at that. One thing that you have to understand is back in the 1930s, the Disney studio realized that they would only have to do half the amount of drawings in order to receive or reach the same smoothness of movement. So they actually ended up cutting their work down in half. So instead of doing 24 drawings, in this case you really only have to do 12 drawings that would be shot on twos or spaced on twos in your program in Digicel, and you would end up getting really nice timing. So I'm trying to set things up so that you really have half the amount of work than what the criteria is doing. So please pay attention to my posts and announcements and these demos, because you're going to be saving yourself a lot of time and you'll understand the spacing for ease in and ease out a whole lot better. One place that I really like to start whenever I'm laying out my animation to just get some sense of where the frame is on the animation paper is to actually use what is referred to as a field guide. It just, I'll turn one of my pages backwards here so that you can see it. But if you lay this over your light table and then lay a sheet of paper on it, you actually have something to draw to, like a TV screen, and it gives you a better sense of laying things out in the frame for yourself. For the pendulum, which is on those pages in the animator's survival kit, it kind of shows you the concept of laying out the pendulum, beginning with the first frame, ending with the last frame. The beginning and the end are the extremes of the action. Those are the two main key frames, the beginning and the end. Typically between, within the movement, from beginning to end, is a breakdown drawing, or a drawing that typically shows the arc of the movement. Whether you're dealing with something like a pendulum or a throw or whatever, you actually can see the arc of how we move in anything that we do. So the pendulum is a great place to start. It also helps you to learn the spacing of your drawing. So again, whenever you get started and you have the keyframes laid out, typically you're trying to take your stopwatch and just get a sense of how the timing is working back and forth. So you would just visually see the movement in your head and to try to get a sense of how you want the pendulum to work. The way that I had pre-timed this, it came down to about 3/4 of a second, or approximately 9 drawings for that 24 frames per second rate. But 9 drawings was just a nice number. 12 drawings would be a full second at 24 frames a second, again on twos. 9 is going to work. If you want to end up doing 12, it's best to do them on your ends at the ease in and ease out, and let the movement through the middle of the action, which is usually what always happens in real life, where it happens. So the one way that I laid this out, if you again see the survival kit, it ends up having this little breakdown of these spacing charts or timing charts, and it always starts out with your first two keyframes, and if you just break the space in half, you end up with your breakdown position, and then the in-betweening process in pose-to-pose animation is typically to animate from the breakdown towards the keyframes in order to gain more drawings at the keyframes, which then end up giving you that sense of ease in and ease out. It was another important principle that the Disney studio felt was very important to movement, the cushioning of movement, the beginning and the end of the action. Whenever we move, you can kind of feel the sense of your body slowing down every time that you pivot back and forth. So this principle ends up coming into play in just about everything that we do. This is also an excellent timing chart or layout for both your straight pendulum, perspective pendulum, and your head turn. So in the criteria, it might be asking you to do 24 drawings, but again, you only need to do 9 drawings, tops 12 drawings for each of the assignments. So please pay attention to that. On Wednesday, I'm going to do a little demo on Digicel. I'm going to scan in my drawings ahead of time, but I will scan one in to show you how that works, and then I'm going to show you how to space your timing on your exposure sheet in Digicel. I'll do that on Wednesday and post it later on Wednesday. The other thing that I wanted to share was my layout for the perspective pendulum, which basically I did there. It might be hard to see with this light behind it, but I did the far pendulum, I did the close-up pendulum, I did it like in a 3/4 view, and there would be my breakdown. Again, I put those on separate sheets of paper, and I used the same timing chart, animating from the middle towards the back, breaking the spaces in half. So again, if you think about your first drawing is number 1, your middle drawing is approximately number 5, so you take 5 and 1 and do 4, 4 and 1 do 3, 3 and 1 and do 2. That's pretty much how the pose-to-pose method works. To animate straight ahead is to animate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but most novice animators have a lot of trouble doing that. Lastly, I just really wanted to quickly just give you a little bit of a layout for the head turn. Again, it's the beginning and the end of the movement. That would be drawing 1, drawing 9. And your middle one, it's always really good to think of a head turn as an arcing movement. So I exaggerated by placing my breakdown and doing a little bit of a tilt forward. The eyes are closed whenever we turn. Our eyes close in that breakdown position. So that so that's pretty much how I laid out my head turn. Would be drawings 1, 5, and 9, just like the pendulum. So have to try to keep these demos short, otherwise they won't end up on YouTube. So anyways, I'm hoping that these are helpful, and it's very important to definitely stay in touch, ask me questions, keep it as simple as possible, know how to know your drawings, understand them, so get those characters to a position where you really can turn them easily and do things with them. Practice doing your hands. I think that was another issue that was something that everybody was a little bit weak on. So try to do your preparatory practice of drawing before you get into the animation process, and then we can concentrate on the idea of timing and spacing, and you'll be set to go. So I wish you all the luck. I'll be doing another demo on Wednesday for the Digicel demonstration, and I look forward to your success throughout this week. So good luck, and as they say at the rodeo, let her buck. So thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye-bye.